share on page. Okay, going live.
Yes, all right. So hello and welcome everyone today here, and welcome to our special guests. Of course, there's a familiar face here. Hello, hi, Meryl.
Hello, Happy New Year, everyone.
Oh, thank you.
Happy New Year.
And there are two unknown faces here. And today we have some guests who are not KUMON instructors, but maybe you want to introduce yourself a little bit. What are you doing?
Hi, my name is Maria Protavapa. I am a KUMON trainer. I train instructors. I haven't been a KUMON trainer all my life, though. I used to teach a lot. I was a teacher for 12 years, and then KUMON came into my life in 2017. I became an instructor. And that was a life-changing experience actually for me. And that brings us to the present, which is actually along with Christian, training new candidates to become KUMON instructors.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Maria. Welcome here, first time KUMON Live.
Thank
you. And Christian, what are you doing?
Yeah. Thank you. Happy to be here and Happy New Year. KUMON crossed my life a couple of years ago. That was beginning of 2004. And I have been through various stations in that years and led me finally to the training department. I'm a trainer as well and responsible for training, human capital development, and all what is covered underneath. One station also, let me add that as well, I have been also KUMON instructor for a year. So I came along like setting up a new center from scratch in Germany and bringing it through the first year with the first approximately 100 students to that time.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So all the people out there, today the topic is, you can guess, it is training and how do we develop new starters, but also how do you develop later on. We have instructors who have been around for over 30 years and even they are still attending regular training sessions, and we want to share a bit of light on that today. So how is that training in KUMON? And I'm thankful Christian prepared something here so we can we'll show you a few pictures, and then of course you can imagine I will ask Christian, what is this? Yeah. So Christian, what do we see here?
All right, so yeah, maybe let me start with saying like we have structured our training into different modules, and what we see here, the 3 key experiences, is especially referring to the initial training, what we call the new instructors training. Mm-hmm. So for everybody who is starting his or her KUMON career as KUMON instructor, this person will undergo a training of 2 times 5 days. Sorry. And within that, we compose a kind of journey of experience. So we do not necessarily push in or cram into the brains of the people new material or knowledge, but we want to create an experience. And the first aspect of it, the first bullet point, is to sharpen eyes and heart of the people to learn more about students studying, self-studying, actually self-studying beyond their school grade level. Simply because we believe this is what makes children smarter. So, and we need to be prepared for that. Or people who open up a training a center needs to be trained on that. So the second one is to feel the difference in children's ability and understand the necessity of individualized instruction. So underneath or within the path of the training, the candidates will learn and understand more and more how important that is to treat children individually, because they are individual and because they have different abilities. And our instruction, as we call it, needs to be individualized. And the third thing that is going to, that is a really nice thing. That's a really nice thing, which enlightens us at every training, I think. It's like encountering the magic moment where children who really try hard to find out how it goes by themselves, how that is happening, to see these little changes and to see what the children actually can do while finding out. And that is something which is quite new for us as adults. We often forget how children need to struggle and fight to find things out. And we often underestimate it because we think it's just easy. That is something we change in that training.
And also maybe be preoccupied of what a child cannot do instead of what they can actually do, and develop based on that.
Wonderful. That is really wonderful that you explained that to us, because although we focus on training here today, and I'm assuming there are also some people watching who might be new to KUMON, so they might have other questions too. And a very big welcome to you to actually post those questions under that video here. And we will try to answer them all. I think you also shed some light on, how does that actually work with that KUMON? So the KUMON instructor, the one who has the franchise, they are in the training. They are the people who work with the kids in the front line. I see you nodding. I'm on the right track here. And it's about study, it's about learning. And there was no word of maths and English here, interestingly. Although these are the subjects we offer. Yeah, it's about those study skills, the individualization of study programs that we use all around the world for the last 60 years and 40 years in Germany. Let me show you also a picture. Sometimes picture says more than 1,000 words. What's going on here? Is that a training, or is this center operation? Or what do we see here?
That is actually interesting, huh? So we do not separate theory from practical experience. So the whole training, this is actually a situation at a center, at a real center with real kids. So the trainees, the candidates will undergo, of course, some kind of sessions in a workshop style where we find out more about our material, philosophy, and so on and so forth. These are elements you might find in any other training as well. But we want to prepare our people to actually work with the kids. So this is taking place, the scene you are seeing here, that was last September in Iliopoli in Athens. And there is one candidate, two candidates actually, a lady and a man, working with children. So, and they encounter what these little children could actually do. And that was mind-blowing. So they could find out how able the children really are and what strategies they do apply in finding out. And that's something you see on the pictures below. Mm-hmm. That's like the morning after, where we reflected and analyzed what the children really could do in terms of their understanding, in terms of their study approaches, in their motivational way, and so on and so forth. And we were thinking, okay, based on that, what the child really can do, what the current situation is, we thought, okay, what is then the next step? What's the next step to develop in their abilities? So we don't have a kind of pre-prepared plan where we think, oh, this is their age, this is what they should do, but we see what they can do.
That seems to me quite an the individualization. You can't really avoid that, no? It's going to happen. It's really taking the child as an individual. And so as a trainer, your aim for the training session, so it's not so much on just cramming information, the 200-page operations manual into someone's brain. You seem to have a different agenda here, different objective.
It's not a lecture style, if we may say. It's more like an interactive session.
Okay.
Learning all from each other and from children, most importantly.
So it is kind of similar to what you would do in a study center. Okay, they wouldn't write on a whiteboard, the students, but you want them to share their findings. Is that right?
That's right. After a process, yeah, exactly what you say. We want to let them think deep and deeper about the children. At the end, we do, Maria nor myself have a closed concept about what a single child is really able to do. And our discussion leads us further. We challenge ourselves together with the candidates to find out, to think deeper. And yeah, that is, this picture is a kind of, especially the left-hand side, it sums up about the training findings of some candidates after 2 weeks. So I don't know if people can see that from their devices, but we asked for their change after the training. Change is a key concept in our training and in our philosophy. So what was the change in the specific candidates? And one of the people said, I got a chance to become a kid again and learn the change in me. Yeah. So, or somebody said, oh, my education for my children was not good. Or another one said, I learned to believe in the child on the very bottom. And I think that's just beautiful because they develop the ability to empathize very closely with the children and left their adult concept of how the world or the learning should be organized. I think that's just beautiful. If people change their own mindset about what learning really is and what it means to children, then I think that is a good experience, apart from the question whether they open up a center or not, to be honest.
Much deeper, much deeper.
Very much indeed. That is wonderful to hear that. Actually, I'm having a question now to Meryl. So we heard it's about change, it's about development, engagement in students' development, the enjoyment of someone getting better, getting smarter. What are the expectations we have for our candidates? Do they have to be teachers, or what do you expect from people who want to be a KUMON instructor?
In terms of qualifications, we are always saying that KUMON is open to everyone in the sense that one doesn't need to have an educational background, I mean, a teaching background, for example, or a degree in education or pedagogy. But what's important is that they have this passion, because at the end of the day, I think it all boils down to how they can engage with children. Yeah, I mean, it would be their day-to-day responsibility, facing with children, facing with parents. I mean, it's important that their passion is there with children and how to develop them and help them progress. I think that's the important thing.
Now that I heard that Maria was a teacher, I really want to ask her about the difference. You were a teacher, and then I know that you run the KUMON Center in Iliopoli, hundreds of children. So you had your own school there, if you want. Huh? That would be a big German primary, what you had. So what's the difference? What would you say?
So different, much different in a way of like the teacher, and for me also, when I was a teacher, I was really focused on the content and the material and what I was going to teach, and in a way also cram information, like we said, into the child's mind. But being an instructor, the focus is more on the child and what's happening in their mind and heart. So in a way, step into the child's shoes, if I may say, and see what's actually best for the child, instead of have a pre-concept mind of, okay, I will show you how to do this, this, and this. Always thinking first of what's best of the child for the child, and then adjusting to what is there to learn on top of that.
Sounds to me that this never ends. So Christian shared with us that there's the training, the 2 weeks of training before you actually start your study center, and then you start your center, and how does it continue, the learning? Is there any training program that you have in mind, or how is that working? I think I have something here I can share. He's nodding. He has done this slide, so let's have a look. So this is our program, I think, for the program.
Yeah, I mean that looks now. We don't need to go into details. That looks really flashing now. But if you feel confused, you might have a guess. It's not that simple. I said we start with 2 times 5 days, and educators coming maybe from the public sector might think, oh, that cannot be realistic. You cannot be serious with that kind of short training. But believe me, it's not that simple. It's not that only. So we have, of course, after letting the people experiencing what it means to work with the children and how we tackle that, how we approach them, how we set up plans for them, how we learn from them, it goes on even after their opening. So it's not like we build them up and we train them up to the last item of consideration and then they open their center. No, they open, but they keep on learning. KUMON means to learn continuously. So in their first year after their center's opening, they have the so-called follow-up training. And we have 3 modules, and I can show some impressions about this with the next slide. We have 3 modules times 2.5 days, where the instructors, so our partners, come together and we keep on learning. So a large pillar of these training modules are based on practical experience they have made So we talk about their case studies, their children. It's a kind of supervision, if you would like to put it this way, but we keep it practical. We have videos we talk about, and we visit also the training centers again. So the initial training takes place in Athens, but the follow-up training takes place in Germany at a German center. Right now, it's a little bit different. We conduct the training online because of the pandemic, but I'm sure we will come back also to on-site trainings in Athens in Germany soon. We visit children there, or we visit the center there. We learn from the children there, and it's based on learning from children, the whole entire thinking behind it. There are also parts for self-study. So especially the last year with the pandemic pushed us very quickly into the situation where we needed to enable our partners to learn on their own behalf. And we have established a KUMON online academy where we provide tutorials, videos, and training content where the instructors and the partners can learn, well, from their home device in a way.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at I saw the video worksheet study. Okay, I understand that. So it's in a training, or what is going on here?
Yeah, that is one of the follow-up trainings we had in the last year. So this took place in Zoom. And usually we would have met in Germany and would have visited a local training center in Neuss. But here we needed to be flexible. And what we did was we visited that center in Neuss, yes, but through Zoom. So the center was conducted in a Zoom session, but we could make also benefit from the given situation. So what we see here was one of the instructors who attended the training, and she opened up her online doors to let us attend to her local center. So she opened her door and we could see how she could work, or how she worked with one of the students we see here. And we could discuss that case. We could again discuss what this young little man could actually do and what next ability could be nurtured and developed next.
Right. I think you have got one more here. This is,
yeah, that's one. That's just to give you an impression. So on the right up corner, you see the surface of our academy where we provide some videos and training tutorials. Down left, you see just a snapshot of a presentation of a study group. So people come together, instructors come together. We keep on learning, as I said. So even not trained by Maria or by us, they stay on working and studying voluntarily with each other. And that was a presentation given by instructors coming from Greece, Romania, Poland, and Crete. Yeah, it's also Greece, but they were sharing their findings with working with their kids, and they did that. They shared that finding at our conference, which you see down right. So we keep on meeting in larger groups, in smaller groups, but always together. And the core of our discussion is always one child.
Wonderful. This is interesting. But you know what, some practical thing is that I'm just wondering, how are those people communicating? If they come from Greece and Romania and Poland, I guess they are not all speaking Polish and Greek and Romanian. So how does that work? How do you facilitate communication, let's say?
In English, actually, yes. It's not like we ask for a degree.
Mhm.
That's not the case. Just being able to communicate in English. So that also makes it a unified training.
Oh, okay. So that's how they can all exchange and all learn
From each other,
Training
despite the country of origin.
And if I look at the faces of those people, they seem to be quite enjoying themselves doing that. So I think there seems to be some joy also for the trainee and your trainings, and some aha and wow moments in the trainings. So maybe you can share with us, we saw the picture, so how would a typical training day look like? If I join that initial training, maybe I'll make my way to Athens finally, and then what's going to happen there on a usual normal day?
Okay, so we would start at 9 o'clock in the morning. Duration is approximately 8 hours, so 9 to 5. We would start with a review of the previous day, if it's not the first day, of course, to make sure that everything is what happened last day, and so that we can learn through reflecting what we experienced. And then we would move with some study of material, not so much academically in a way, rather than see what's the intention in the worksheets and the common material and what's behind. Also, of course, some principles and the philosophy of the KUMON, some more theoretical things. And then we would move on to the in-center experience in a way, like a bridge from what we've been discussing and also practicing even through the study of materials with some role plays, stepping into the child's shoes and having some extra exercises of instructor and child. So that would actually come to action then in the center, live, working with children, actually practicing what we have discussed in the morning sessions, and seeing actually how different approaches can actually make a difference in the child's heart and mind.
So is that a reason why we go to Athens? I know it's a very big center and you have loads of
there is, yes, there are a lot of children of various ages, 2-year-olds or adults, even big children. So there's a great range. And there is independent study, most importantly, taking place. You can see children studying independently without someone teaching them. And so, yeah, that's two core reasons. There's a wide range of students, and there's independent study taking place, which is what we aim for.
Oh, wonderful. I know that, Meryl, you have been to that training in Athens, and what would you say was the best that you saw there or experienced there?
It was actually my first time in a KUMON center and training. So I was just starting my KUMON journey, so to say. So I started with the new instructor training, and I was really amazed. I was blown away with how the children are so independent. I was doing the training with 12 other, it was, I think, a very big group of instructors, 12 other associates and instructors. It's a mixed group. And I can say that we are all amazed, because it's like children are coming into the center without really talking to the instructors there or to the class assistants. They know exactly what to do. Yes. So as Maria told earlier, the independent study is there. Children are already trained on what to do, and they trust themselves that they know what to do, that I can do this by myself. I can ask them if I need something, but so far they don't need anything, so they can by themselves. And that's really like in the beginning of my KUMON career, it's like, wow, that's really a wow moment for me, so to say.
Wonderful. That's great to experience that. If I think of all the kids now studying at home, because schools are closed, those kids, they will know what to do. Huh? I think it's a great gift for them, and it was all the time in them. But I shall also ask you, Maria and Christian, what was your best moment in training so far? Anything where you say, yeah, that was really remarkable?
Lots of them, but that's a cliche.
You only have 1 minute.
Yeah, okay. So I think the top moment is, it has happened plenty of times, but it has a common denominator. It's when you see the transformation of the trainee, the candidate, happening right there and having their own wow moment, and realizing actually if they also have children that they have become a better parent. This is a breathtaking moment actually, and it also applies for me. I was lucky enough to be familiarized with KUMON and become a member of the KUMON family before becoming a mother, so I feel really lucky for that.
Fascinating. Christian, how about you?
That will blow the time frame here now. But
Everybody gets it.
Well, there are, of course, two components. I mean, children are amazing. Yeah, there are, on the one hand, of course, when you see how able children are, what they can do. Yeah, that young children can do things where you would not dream about if you don't know KUMON. Or that older children who feel intimidated because they think they cannot do things, math or English or something, and how they are melting and they are peeling, and a new self they do encounter. That's just amazing. And sometimes I'm close to my tears when I see that over a process. Yeah? But I don't need training to witness that. I just need to go to any local center. But in terms of training, as Maria said, that also the candidates are changing and transforming. They all come with open hearts and open minds. That's why we invite them. But still, everybody has a kind of package of preconceptions. Yeah. Children should do this, or they should not do this, and how they change and transform their thinking and feeling by sometimes literally going down on their knees to experience on what view level children see the world in the center. That is really wow moment for me. That's a big wow moment for me. Wow moment for me. You see, my language is shaking.
Thank you very much. It could almost be the closing words for today, but I think what I really got today, that there's these 3 words there: think, learn, grow. They don't just apply to our students, and it's not just a nice marketing claim that sounds fancy. It's actually the kind of ethos of the whole organization. It applies to the trainees just as much as to the trainers and everyone in the organization, to think and learn and grow by interacting with other people, to learn from other people, with other people, by challenging yourself. This is all interactive. This is not carved in stone. It's not a big manual of 20 books that you need to memorize with a big test at the end. It's something you do, that you experience. If anyone who watched us today said, oh, that sounds interesting, I wish I would know a little bit more about it, then don't wait, just get in touch. You can send us a message, you can go to our website and put in a request, and we invite you to a little webinar where you can ask all your questions that you still have, and you can see a bit more of that KUMON world and all the application process, training process, etc., without any commitment at that stage. Yeah? So if you want to know more, don't hesitate. And you might actually meet one of us in one of those meetings. Yeah, so thank you very much indeed for joining us today, or everyone out there, but also you three. Thank you very much for being here and sharing. So honestly, all your answers to the questions that I had not shared with you. So thank you very much indeed, and see you soon somewhere.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. On your bola.
Yeah.
Selamat malam.